City Council, Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. And Chief Martin, would you please deliver invocation?
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, as we gather tonight, we thank you for both our health and our ability to be here. We ask your blessing and comfort for those who may be suffering or in need. Father, examine our hearts and fill us with your wisdom so that the fruit of our efforts will bring glory to you and you alone. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Miranda, if you'd please call roll.
Peterson,
Present.
Capete,
Present.
Cifuentes, West,
Here.
Perkins,
Present.
Thorne,
Present.
Kane,
Present.
Snow,
Here.
Schramm,
Here.
Wells.
Here.
Well, I'm very pleased to see all your smiling faces back this new year. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our December 9th, 2025 council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 9th, man, a month ago.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second? And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Minutes are approved. All right, we will now move on. We have no presentations or proclamations for this evening. We'll move on to public comments. Anyone that wishes to address the council, please step forward to the microphone, state your name, your address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Georgianne Diener, 1321 Hazel. First of all, I want to thank the mayor for showing up at the meeting, town hall that I held at Ulmer Funeral Home on December the 15th. He helped us out a lot, took a lot of questions, and I appreciate you coming. We are going to have another meeting on Monday, January the 26th at 6:30. At Ulmer Funeral Home to follow up and see what kind of solutions we can come. And I know that some of the people have contacted me today wanting to continue with the trap, neuter, and release program that the city used to have that was discontinued. The one that the people talked about at the meeting, Kayleen and I can't think of his name right off, but they spoke about it at the last meeting. I want to invite all the council members and the mayor and the chief of police, and I know it's off duty for your animal control, but he's welcome to come too. So we can all kind of work together and see if we can find some solutions, especially since we have rabies now in our county. We talked about the rabies in McDonald County at our meeting, and because I talked to the state and they've made me aware of that. I think all the dogs and every livestock in Jasper County needs vaccinated or shots. And another thing, since I've had my meeting December 15th, there has been one of them fatal, I'm not sure about the second, stray dog attacks in the state of Missouri. One of them was up in the Cuba area, and I'm not sure where the second one was. So it is a problem we need to address, and I know you guys have made wonders bounds with the Humane Society in the last month, but I want to invite you all to my meeting and thank you for your time.
All right, just to be clear, the trap and release program was not a city program. It was a private program that the city accommodated, just so that there was no confusion on the part of the council. So it was run by civilians.
I'm not all up to that on myself.
Right. That's okay.
Kayleen and them know a lot more about it than I do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say on that, on the trap and release, when we met with the Humane Society, would you like to talk about that, Chief?
Yes, ma'am. We met with the Humane Society a few weeks ago, and the trap and release program was brought up by one of the board members, and he's been willing to work with the Humane Society and us to maybe look at starting that program back. Again, on the civilian side of it, and it will be a city funded.
Kayleen said something about grants. Her and Mr. Barlow spoke about it at the meeting.
This is one of the board members who actually does it themselves.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about the program other than what I got educated at the last animal control meeting where Carthage had it and it had been discontinued.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that as far as being discontinued, I don't know when that happened.
I don't either.
But I can tell you that has been re-implemented by this individual who says that they're willing to do that, and we were looking on how how to make that happen on our side.
And I think the whole community has to get involved, and I mean, I'm great that the communication between the city and the Humane Society's up and going again. I hear that's progressing in a positive manner now.
Absolutely, yes.
So I want to just thank everybody, and I don't want to cause a problem, I just want to bring attention to the problems we have and find issues as a community.
Thank you.
That
Anyone?
trap and release, was that not just for cats only?
That's a great question.
was. Yes, the answer is yes. It was trap and, it's actually trap and neuter is what I think the
Neuter, what have you,
official
yes.
term was. Yes, it
They
was
were
for
doing
cat.
that back when when I was on council before.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to address the council, please step to the podium, state your name, address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes. All right, moving on, we'll now stand on for the reports of standing committees. First one's Budget, Ways and Means, Chairperson Snow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Budget Ways and Means Committee met last night here in council chambers. We had a few things on the agenda last night, and they are also on the agenda tonight. Council Bill 2601 is a budget adjustment for fiscal year 25-26, the year that we are currently in. It's to account for some revenue, account for some expenses because of that revenue, account for some emergency purchases, things like that. So that's Council Bill 2601 that's under new business for first reading tonight. We also discussed the acceptance of a anonymous donation to the police department. It's on the agenda tonight, Resolution 2108. This is an annual donation from an anonymous donor that the city and the police department has been beneficiary of for several years. And so that's on Resolution 2108 that we'll discuss later in the meeting. The other thing that we had on the budget agenda last night was our budget calendar for the 26-27 budget year. Everyone should have had a copy of that budget calendar on their desk tonight. We did make an adjustment to the one we talked about last night. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to approve the budget calendar for the 26-27 budget year.
Do all the council members have a copy of the budget calendar in front of you?
Yes.
All right, I have a motion to approve the budget calendar. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the budget calendar. You have a copy in front of you. Any discussion? Alan?
If I may. So the budget calendar, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, kind of outlines month by month how we will go through the budget process. Our charter requires, and our fiscal year starts on July 1st, so our charter requires that we have the budget passed, finally approved before July 1st. The one adjustment that we made last night was just a conflict with high school graduation. We got that date changed. If you'll notice, in February, during our February committee meetings is when the department heads will bring the 5-year capital plans to the committees. In those committee meetings, as you're reviewing those capital plans with the department heads, is when we want to try to set the priorities that the council has for those departments. Those things include improvements in the parks, improvements to roads and bridges and streets, and everything that goes into that, fire department, police, everything that goes into those capital projects. Because for the most part, as we look at our budget, we have the most flexibility on capital improvement projects. So we really have to prioritize those so that when we get to limiting the funds that we have, we can prioritize those and budget appropriately. So in those February meetings, we need to have those 5-year capital plans laid out so that everyone on council is aware of what those requests will be as we put them into the budget.
The only thing I would add on that, and Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, but what at least I witnessed last year was some of the oversight committees felt that they were restricted from guiding the departments that are reporting them for budgetary purposes, and that's not not the case. We need the committees to be very involved in what, as the council representatives, what's going to be presented to the overall council. So I would encourage you, as you're on the committee, dig in and make sure you understand what your departments are asking for and why. Okay, any other discussion?
I have a question. The orange, important budget milestones. What is the definition? I mean, is there something that you want to see?
So those milestones, Jack, are kind of deadlines, like the deadline for this Friday is to have payroll updated so that we start working on salary numbers and we know what the payroll for next year is going to be. The deadline for the first week of February is for the department heads to have their capital wants or requests put in, so that they're kind of deadlines. They're on the calendar as deadlines, but there is some flexibility because those numbers change as we go through the budget process.
I have a question for Chief.
Yes, sir.
Where does the 10,000, is it going to a general fund?
It's more of a budgeting question. It goes into a donation line under the capital.
No, it's a public safety public safety fund. So we keep track of all donations in that fund for the police and fire. So they have designated purposes that they can be spent.
But from an accounting standpoint, there is a,
Specific fund that it goes into.
okay.
Any other discussion? All right, the motion on the table is to approve the calendar as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Calendar is adopted. All right, Alan?
Also in our staff reports, and Ms. Cox will probably report on it also, our sales tax revenues for the month are up, but year to date they are still trailing a little bit from last year. Our use tax for the month is up, and our use tax year to date are up. Ms. Cox may report on that a little bit more detail later. Our next meeting for the Budget Committee will be on February 9th at 5:30 here in Council Chambers.
Thank you. Committee on Insurance, Audit, and Claims. Derek?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. CIAC met this evening, forwarded and approved the claims report, which the full council will see here shortly, or vote on here shortly. The only other item of business was the 2026 Employee Health Fair, which was substantially the same as last year in the city's interest of promoting a healthy lifestyle for its employees. Host a health fair, and each employee can attend these various, checkup, blood work, numerous health stands, if you will, and each one acquires points. If you get up to 100 points for nicotine users, or you can recoup $100 once you get to your point thresholds. Non-nicotine users up to $200. The only change that was made, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miranda, is on the gym membership. You have to actually go to obtain that. So 12 times a month, which I think is useful. So at this time, I'd make a motion to approve the 2026 Health Fair incentive program.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the 2026 Healthcare Incentive Program. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And the last thing I note is at our last CIAC meeting, Ms. Cox reported that the budget was, the audit, the city was getting wrapped up. That will be presented at our next Insurance Audit and Claims Committee meeting on the 27th, and it'll only be presented at that committee. So if there's any public or council members that would like to attend, obviously I'll report on it in our subsequent council meeting, but the auditor will be here to give her formal presentation. So that would be a meeting I'd open, the doors are open to anyone who wants to hear that presentation. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Public Safety Committee, Alan.
Yes, Public Safety Committee is currently between meetings. Next Monday, the 19th, would be our normal scheduled meeting, but due to the holiday, our meeting has been moved to February 26th at 5:30.
Okay.
Oh, January, I'm sorry. No, not February,
All right,
January.
thank you. Anything else?
That's all, Your Honor.
All right, Public Services. Shanna?
Public Services is between meetings. Our next meeting is next Tuesday, January 20th at 5:30 here in council chambers.
Okay, thank you. And Public Works Committee. Derek?
Yes, thank you. So our Public Works Committee for the turn of the year here in January was canceled for lack of business. However, our December Public Works Committee meeting came after our last council meeting, so I'll report on that because I wouldn't have done so on the 9th. The two items of business there, we have our HH and Chapel Road sidewalk project. I've reported on this quite a few times because there's been a number of red tape obstacles that kind of out of our control that we've been navigating. It's an 80-20 TAP grant. And the question we had was, do we pause this project because of some of these ripples with permitting of contractors and various things, or rebid it out? And the Public Works Committee decided to rebid that out for a number of reasons. First, to make sure we don't jeopardize that TAP funding to retain the project. It's going to be very helpful, and not only now, but another factor was moving forward in the future. That's certainly an area of development in town that I think will continue to grow. So if we can lay that foundation going down Chapel Road that way and hopefully have at least the project's sidewalk there, ultimately maybe that gets extended to some of those developments that are there and hopefully continue to see. So ultimately the committee decided to rebid that project to keep it moving. And then secondly, there's a 3rd Street Bridge replacement project. We were discussing the selection of an engineer for that. Ultimately, the committee determined we'll use our city contracted engineer, Zanavan, due to the familiarity they have and the industry knowledge, if you will, especially with some of the factors that go into that bridge replacement. So that was who the committee decided on there. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now move on to reports from special committees and board liaisons. Anyone ever better? Ray?
The Kellogg Lake Board met on January the 8th. The reports were that they have received their $35,000 grant that they had requested from McCune Brooks Hospital Foundation. That's going to help them fund some of the projects that they're considering. They are considering redoing one of the pavilions there and redoing the signage and the marble. I guess it's a sign. I would, anyway, it says where Kellogg Lake came from anyway out front. They're going to redo that. They were very pleased with all of their holiday events that they had out there and intend to improve and possibly expand on those. The primary thing on their agenda was some changes to their bylaws. That was all passed. The main thing on that was that it allowed the president of the board to make purchases up to $250 for unbudgeted items without having to get a complete vote of the board. And let's see, I believe, nope, one last thing, there was still considerable discussion and concern about the new disc golf course that's going in out there, but I would leave that to Jackie and or Richard or anybody else that wants to talk to that. But anyway, that was the gist of their meeting, and that's all. I appreciate it.
Okay. Miranda, do we have a current copy of the amended rules that they're using out there, the Kellogg Lake? Is that the most recent one?
Yeah, that's the one they voted on.
If we can just get a copy of that,
Yeah.
Miranda, so it's available. You did? Okay, great. All right, other special committees or commissions? David?
Yes, the library board met this evening. They said they had a really good December. They've still got a few grants outstanding for the year. They're trying to get those wrapped up. Some of their sales taxes running a little behind for their funding. They did have 3 programs. There's a high school diploma program, a citizenship program, and an English program that are all running out of funds this year. Those run about $30,000 per year to keep those 3 activities going. They did say that over the last 9 years, they've helped 150 people become citizens through that program. They're also looking at setting up some reserve funds because they really don't have anything set up apparently at this time that would cover operating costs if something happened, and also a separate reserve for improvements and emergency funds. But all in all, it seems like the library is quite active and in pretty good condition. The new doors are completed, so now people can go much easier than before. Few issues with HVAC that's getting taken care of, nothing major, just sounds like some maintenance that had been deferred. So anyway, things are pretty good at the library.
Okay, thank you. Beth?
The Boots Foundation board meeting was last week, and I attended it. And there are several things that are going on that are certainly putting the organization in a good light for and the partnership with the community. The work on the project for the green space behind the visitor center is the planning for that and getting started is underway. And that project will be available, the space will be available not only for guests at Boots, but also for the community, so that we foster some long and much needed gathering places where we can do some things and have some fun together with people from out of town, as well as just people that we know here in the community. This project was graciously supported by the Boylan Foundation and also the McCune Brooks Hospital Trust Fund. So that's been well received and put to good use. The travel patterns for this winter are always different than they are in the summer for Boots, but this year for December they had 51 stays, whereas last year it was 29. So it's just about doubled in that respect. And the Visitor Center has a lot of good gifts that are available, and I know some people, that myself included, got some Christmas gifts and spread them around, and people really do like what they have to offer, and it changes all the time. So
I didn't get a Christmas gift from you.
well, you don't know that. Maybe it was lost in the mail. And then the other thing is, I don't know if any of you on traveling on Route 96, but you see the Route 66 sign out that direction. We're getting one at Boots to be put forth from the Missouri Route 66 Centennial Commission's project. And so that'll be something that'll be quite visible and a great photo op and a nice nice mark for the 100th anniversary of Route 66. So that's what I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other reports of boards or special committees? Janet?
Okay, I've got a long list, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Jack asked me to give the CWEP board minutes, or meeting, so this actually is his part. I attended.
Maybe I'll just mouth it as you go.
Yeah, okay. That's all I'm doing too. I attended this meeting actually with the mayor, Beth Kang, Jack Perkins, and myself, and usually we do attend those meetings. They're about 2 hours long. They're full of hard work, information, and people getting together to do the best for our public services here in Carthage, for our public utilities. First on the list was the approval of the fiscal year 2025 single audit report. CFO Kelly Nugent reported a single audit report was required due to the ARPA funding this year, stating it was unmodified clean option. It was reported that KPM found no material weaknesses, no non-compliance issues, and no significant control deficiencies. And again, Rebecca from KPM praised the staff for their help in any questions that they had and any information that they needed. The board passed this audit unanimously for the 2024-25 as it was presented. Second, consideration of bids for the substation for 15 kV vacuum circuit breakers. A formal request was issued seeking qualified contractors to construct the substation number 15 kV vacuum circuit breakers project. The projects were received from 3 companies, and the board awarded the project to Siemens Industry in care of CBM Incorporated in the amount of $195,288, which was the lowest bid, and it's contingent on negotiations that are mutually agreeable. Number 3, considerations of bids for the wastewater bar screen replacement project. The purchase of a new articulating rake screen for the wastewater treatment plant was needed to replace the existing bar screen. And you don't want to hear about what it does there. So to maintain the reliability and standardization of equipment that was installed in a prior project a few years ago, this rake screen will be purchased from Hayes Equipment Company Incorporated for the cost of $245,405. Hayes Equipment is the authorized supplier and sole source provider for the Parkson Corporation, manufacturing of the articulating rake screen, in addition to the equipment purchase. Randy Dubry Construction provided an estimate of $53,769 for demolition of the current building, removal and replacement of the existing bar screen. The work will be performed under CWP's General Construction and Operating Maintenance Repair Services contract. Algar Martin and Associates will provide engineering services for this project. It's estimated at $10,000, and to ensure proper design, integration, and compliance. CWEP will incur some additional expenses, which will be managed through labor and related support provided by internal personnel at the wastewater treatment plant. The board awarded the purchase of the rake screen to Hayes Equipment Company and the construction services to Randy Dubry Construction. Fourth, Customer Relations Director Cassandra Ludwig reported that CWEP employees were able to raise $680 for the Marion Bright Futures Christmas, which helped provide 14 meal packages, clothing items, and essential and additional hams and turkeys and 10 Walmart gift cards to the kids at Columbia Elementary School, and that CWEP lighting contest was open to the public for the first time this year. And I know after the voting closed on December 18th, they announced those winners on Facebook. So thank you for doing the lighting contest. Number 5, Director of Power and Services, Kevin Emery, announced that Jake Brunert, Christian Terry, and Tristan Hartman all completed and graduated a 4-year lineman apprenticeship program. The general manager, Chuck Bryant, reported that Sparkle in the Park line ceremony was well attended. He expressed his appreciation to Larry Beckett, the Sparkle in the Park Santa, for his special connection with the kids. Bryant reported that CWEP Christmas party was also well attended and thanked the board members for attending. He reported a coffee that was held for CWEP retirees in the community room and noted that CWEP will make an effort to make it an annual event for the retirees. And that was just because the Christmas party became so large and they did not have the space for everyone. They separated those out. Brian announced 2 retirements coming up: Harlan Block on January 30th and Elvis Castor on February 10th. He reported an internal organization adjustment where the meter service and the GIS engineering teams will merge into a single group known as the Utility Services Team, which will be led by Richard Graves under the leadership of Cassandra Ludwig. And personally, I'd like to thank all of the employees at CWEP for the gift of the community of Sparkle in the Park and all the assistance that they gave to the downtown lighting. It helps create a storybook image of our magical town. Also, I wanted to thank, as I attend those meetings, all the board members that give their time and knowledge to help our public utilities run so efficiently. Brian Smith, Sid Teal, Ron Ross, Tom Garrison, Darren Collier, and Mark Geyer. So that's it for CWEP. Now you want me to move on to Vision Carthage? You're welcome, Jack. Vision Carthage pulled off a Christmas miracle with all the activities of Merry Mondays this past December. All 4 Mondays in December, they provided free events to the public at different locations throughout the Carthage Park to create a wonderland for our citizens. I wanted to thank Sally Stewart and Kate Kelly for their host of volunteers that create such a memorable holiday for our community. They have their next venture on the calendar, which is the Diamonds and Denim Casino Night, which will be held at Memorial Hall on January 31st. Tickets are available online along with sponsorship opportunities, and this is their largest fundraising event, so please check them out online. Let me take a minute here. I have the Harry S. Truman Council. Yes. Harry S. Truman Coordinating Council, which I sit on. They have a public meeting notice. The public is invited to a meeting to learn more about the plans to make improvements along Missouri Route 96 on Central Avenue from the Missouri Department of Transportation. An in-person meeting will be held 4:30 to 6 p.m. Thursday, January 22nd at the Carthage Water and Electric Plant Community Room on Central. The meeting will be a come-and-go style with opportunity to speak with project staff. There will be no formal presentation given. The public is welcome to attend at any time during the meeting. A virtual online option will be available for 2 weeks from Thursday, January 15th through Thursday, January 29th, and it can be accessed at the project webpage. The public is invited to make comments or ask questions via a form available on the project website. Beginning this summer, contractors will be making pavement, traffic flow, safety, and sidewalk improvements along Route 96 Central Avenue in Carthage from just west of I-49 to Missouri Route 571, which is Garrison Avenue. The projected estimate cost of this is $15.3 million. Harry S. Truman has also placed a survey on Facebook that anybody is welcome to take to help them to report their transportation needs, report safety concerns, identify problem areas, share ideas for improvement, take the safety survey they can take a safety survey at the site given on their website or scan a QR code from their phone. So that's it for now.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Ron?
Yes, Your Honor. On Monday, January the 5th, we had another Civil Wars Museum Board meeting. Some of the main concerns we had there was asset inventory of the stuff that's down there at the Civil War Museum, some facility exhibit planning considerations, collection and display of governance practices. One of the things they're concerned about is a lot of people want to bring stuff in and just donate to the Civil War Museum, but they're really not related to the Civil War. So we kind of discourage it. If it's not related to the Civil War, then we just don't have the extra room down there for that. But we do appreciate any donations that you do have in the community. Then last of all, we had a board election. I wouldn't call it much of an election. I think it was more of a volunteering of certain individuals to take over. They hadn't had someone for 3 years, was it?
They
Something like
remember.
that. For 3 years, they hadn't even had a meeting, basically down there for the Civil War Museum. And the guys are really interested, and the mayor is really getting them with him and promoting, and hopefully also along with all of our other tourism, getting people to come and actually go through our Civil War Museum. We would like to see the educators here in Carthage bring the kids out to go through the Civil War and get them a little bit of I mean, a lot of kids, a lot of the adults don't even realize this is where the first Civil War started off, right here in Carthage. So that was the junk of the meeting there. The new board members will, took on the responsibility is going to determine when we have our next meeting. So there's not a meeting set just yet. Second, I wasn't able to attend this morning, and the mayor was telling me that there was a memorandum that was signed by the city, but was never finished signing off on by the commissioners, reference our roads that are basically both parties are kind of responsible for. And we're gonna have to look into that. Mayor can
Yeah,
exaggerate
essentially-
on that because I wasn't there.
Essentially, there was and this was when Mike Harris was the mayor, there was an arrangement that was coordinated but never approved by the Jasper County Commissioners and the Jasper County Special, or the Carthage Special Road District and the City of Carthage with regard to responsibility for upkeep, maintenance, law enforcement, et cetera, of specific roads around and throughout the city. And it came with a map. And that thing had never been, it was never adopted, although council approved it being approved, it never got signed or enacted simply because the commission and or the special road district neglected to do so or refused to do so. So what we've done is Tracy and Josiah will reinitiate conversations in coordination with the Special Road District, Carthage Special Road District, and the commissioners to reinvigorate that thing so that we start delineating who has responsibility. And it runs a gamut from snow removal to capital improvements, and there are roads that are around the city that you might imagine. There's some on Fur Road, et cetera, that are in question. So we just need to clean that up. That's what it's about.
And that's all I had you on.
All right, any other sports? Derek?
I got a quick hitter here. Thank you, Mayor. The Planning, Zoning, and Historic Preservation Commission met on Monday the 5th last week, and the crux of everything continues to be the historic design guidelines. Just one small import from that meeting was that the guidelines, again, guidelines, they're not, we aren't operating under them yet, but the proposed guidelines from the consultant said that wood windows and siding should be replaced only with wood windows and siding. That has been kind of a point of contention as far as what replacement materials could be used, if not wood, vinyl, or aluminum, which are much cheaper and oftentimes easier to obtain. So language was adopted just on that subject, that the commission strongly encourages wood or a one-to-one replacement. However, if someone seeks to install vinyl or aluminum windows and or siding, they can simply come to P&Z and state why, whether that be appearance, hardship, economic or otherwise, etc. So that's not, it's just a strongly encouraged rather than mandated. So make sure everybody has some wiggle room there. The next meeting there will be February 2nd. And I failed to mention our Public Works Committee meeting will be the next day, the 3rd. And that's all I got. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other reports? Alan?
So I know everyone has already heard that we met with Humane Society a week ago today. We met with 3 board members, and I was very encouraged. They are working to get board members to improve their board. They reported that they do have some money in the bank. They've worked very hard this year to fundraise, and they have money in the bank to continue operations. And we have both agreed that we want to work for a new contract. That new contract obviously won't take effect until after the first of the year, or July 1st, first of our fiscal year, but we are gonna work and try to come to an agreement. We talked about several different things. Chief Deininger talked about his animal control officer and some of the things that the animal control officer is currently doing. The board wasn't aware that they were doing those things, and I thought it was a very good meeting, so I look forward to our next meeting. We don't have that set yet, but we will be working with them going forward. So I just wanted to report that so that everyone on council.
All right, thank you. And they did have a board meeting Thursday night Tracy was able to attend that on behalf of the city. I have not appointed a liaison to that board yet. But Tracy, you have anything you want to add to Alan's report on that?
Yes, the Carthage Humane Society did meet last Thursday at the YMCA, and Judy Pardon and Teresa Nixon reported on their meeting that they had with city officials. They reported that there is not a contract at this time that they can work within, but they are very optimistic that all issues will be resolved. There has been a turnover in staff, and so they currently are operating without a director. Judy Pardon and Teresa Nixon are working diligently to fill that role until they can get someone back in-house. They currently have 102 animals at the shelter, 74 dogs and 28 cats. The board members discussed fundraising opportunities and potential grants. Judy Pardon did report that they have been awarded a $50,000 operating grant from Steadley, and this was the first time in 3 years that they had received the grant. Dr. Newman is their vet of record, but they do have a vet that comes down from Kansas City to spay and neuter the animals once a month. They did not discuss any contract negotiations or anything like that. Their next meeting will be a closed session meeting, so my guess is that they will discuss that then.
Thank you. Any other reports from special committee or commissions? Yes, Jack.
May I make a comment about the CWEP? I call it corporation, extremely well company, well-run company. But our industrial park is just sort of there, and there's not been a lot of discussion. But I want you to know that there's a tremendous amount of activity behind the scenes in anticipation of when this thing goes online. The 15 kV vacuum, whatever they were, is an addition that gets well ahead of the implementation or the finality. Once the transformer arrives, they just plug it in. And that's what this effort's all about. And I know Jeff's been working diligently. And I think it's going to be a shining jewel for the city of Carthage. I think it'd be a good money maker. It's going to be a great venue for any company that wishes to come to Carthage for their business.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, we'll move on to the mayor's report. First of all, welcome everyone back from the holidays. I trust you all had restful and family-filled time with one another. I want to thank all of you that signed, or who filed rather, to serve as an officer of the city. I appreciate not only your willingness to serve or to continue to serve, but your dedication to trying to make our city a better place. Okay, since our last meeting, we've had a few things have occurred. We hosted Bill Hawkins' retirement and subsequently his last radio call. So we can now forget him. And the new guy in the hot seat is Chad down there. He has now officially assumed duties, so no one's looking over his shoulder. So all former complaints and future complaints you can send down to Chad's desk because he has nothing else to keep him busy down there. Juan and I were able to attend an award ceremony at our own junior high, which was hosted by Optimum, the company Optimum, which is essentially a national level competition for excellence in writing, specifically essays that are themed along Hispanic heritage. And we had two recognized people here locally. We had Indy Beckham, who interestingly enough is the daughter of Brady and Shanty. Brady, of course, served on this body as a council person, and Shanty is very involved in the nonprofit community locally. But their daughter was recognized as a national semifinalist, or finalist, if you will, for the award, and they came down and made a very nice presentation to her. And as part of the same ceremony, they made a special point of acknowledging and expressing their pleasure with Jessica Page, who is one of our I guess it's a gifted and talented program teacher at the junior high, and it was her class that had done a lot of work, but she's been very much a proponent of this Hispanic Heritage Essay Contest for her teachers, or for her students rather, such that she had numerous submissions to the national level competition of students that are in her classroom, and Optimum wanted to recognize their pleasure and their satisfaction with what she's doing from the teaching side, which was very nice. And Juan got a chance to do an interview down there, which was great afterwards, so it was a great event. And I hadn't been in the junior high since, I don't know when, it'd been a while. We did have a CEDC board meeting, as Jack alluded to. We're going to discuss that later this evening when we go into closed session, but rest assured that those volunteers, very talented individuals, are still doing the right things for our city to help us move forward from that standpoint, and I think you'll find that interesting and rewarding. CWNEP, of course, had a board meeting, as Janet mentioned. The biggest thing was the clean audit that KPM gave them. We were able to attend, as I know several of you were, to the annual holiday festivities out at the Congregation of the Mother of the Redeemer, which was wonderful and well attended, and they brought down performers from Springfield, specifically St. Agnes in Springfield, that put on a great show, and I was able to converse quite easily in my Vietnamese. I did attend the quarterly Missouri Municipal League Mayors Conference. It was a Zoom meeting, and they're trying to do this about once a quarter right now. The topic very much remains the same. There is a lot of concerns across the mayors, across the state, in terms of what Jeff City, the legislatures, are considering there in terms of essentially tax reduction or tax abatement. There's been lots of stuff in the news. I know you've seen it with regard to let's kill property tax, let's kill real property tax, let's kill income tax, et cetera, et cetera. And so, and a lot of the municipalities, if not all the municipalities, rely on that tax stream to essentially fund their operations. So the mayors are in a bit of their kung fu stance on this. They're very concerned that the legislators would do what they sometimes may do, which is make decision that the secondary and tertiary impacts may not have been well thought out. So they're soliciting support from all the mayors to raise Cain with the elected officials and make sure they don't get us into a situation where we can't recover. Just so you council members know, in preparation for the next budget session we're going through, this will be my first time to go through the whole process. I've gone to each of the department heads and given them some specific requests for them to come to me to kind of bring me up to speed and make sure I understand some of the extremely expensive programs we currently have in place, so that I better understand the cost, the benefits, and the analysis of why they're good things to do. So if you hear some of your committee or your directors grumbling a little bit about it, it may be that, and I'm sure we'll work through all of it. And it's primarily just to educate me so that as I help go through this process, I can do so from somewhat of a point of understanding. We've already talked about the Humane Society. The Civil War Board, the Museum Board, we did meet. That was very successful, as Ron pointed out. I had a follow-on meeting with the Civil War Museum staff. That was last night, which was another couple of hours. And again, I think it's all moving in the right direction, and we can start doing some things that we need to get done to clean things up a little bit and be ready to, and the 250th anniversary of the country, 100th anniversary of the Route 66, et cetera, as well as, of course, just our own celebration of our heritage. I was also able to attend the most recent tree board meeting. They are policing up trees for replanting from the city's perspective. They were donated, and those are working well, and they've got a plan to do that, which I'm sure will help continue to beautify the city. And finally, I was able to attend what was essentially an inaugural, maybe an organizational meeting of the Carthage Square Merchants Association, which was hosted about a week ago. Beth was able to attend as well. And these are square property owners, business owners that are very much interested in enlivening and working together to improve activity sales and everything else on the square. So this was very much an initial organizational piece, but they had tremendous representation. I thought just
Probably
about every
50
shop
people there.
was represented. So I'm optimistic that thing will pay us some dividends going forward for those businesses on the square. And that completes my report for this evening. All right, we'll now move on to reports of council. And Ron, why don't we start with you this time?
Well, I had nothing extra other than enjoyed the holidays, watching the mayor turn the light switch on down in the park, and then, of course, again out there at the Mother Congregation's show and benefit that they gave the council members. It was very enjoyable. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Janet?
Oh, backwards, okay. I did attend the Carthage Humane Society meeting, and one thing I wanted to add, that they really ask for people to come out and help walk the dogs. That's one benefit for them that they really don't have enough volunteers for. But it was a wonderful meeting, a very positive meeting. We all want to solve this, and they were very impressed with the way our current police force and the animal control officer have handled things, that they had no idea the extent that our police force went to rehome, find a dog's home, to take care of the situation, and how many hours they spend on that. So it was a very good meeting. This is Chad's first meeting as the chief, so welcome as the official chief. We're glad to have you. And another thing I wanted to say was on the Carthage Chamber, they're hosting a legislative update on January 30th at the CWEP Community Room with Senator Jill Carter and Representative Kathy Jo Lloyd to just give us, it's at 9 o'clock on that Friday morning, to give us an update of their meetings. And Julie hosted today the first Empowering Women Luncheon at the CWEP Community Room. It's the first one of the year. And thank you, Mayor Flanagan, for signing up again to run for mayor. Your leadership is invaluable. It's been a wonderful process, and you're really appreciated. So thank you so much for signing up again.
Thank you. Alan?
I don't have anything tonight. Thank you, Honor.
Beth?
Oh, two things. One, as the mayor indicated, we both attended the Downtown Alliance, for lack of a better name for it right now. There were about 50 people that were there, and it also includes the corners of the square, just a little bit down on each side, and they're looking at putting together a representative from each side of the square to work on things that are important to them. And they are also, really this is taking place under the umbrella of Vision Carthage as a Main Street organization, so that, but Brooke with All Lathered Up is kind of leading it. He doesn't want to be the leader, but he wants to make sure that this comes together and happens. And I've heard several things. I've been downtown a few times since that meeting, and I think people were very encouraged. So I think that we'll see some fruits of the effort. They've got some great ideas, and I think they will follow through on it. I'm encouraged. The other thing is the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame is going to be has just announced their class of 2026, and there will be a ceremony on Sunday, February 1st in Springfield, and Carthage is represented by the Borland Golf Brothers, Glenn, Joe, who I think Joe is no longer with us, and Gary. So they are going to be in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame this year. So that's something we can all be proud of, and proud of their efforts. So.
Anything else? David?
Recognize one of our citizens of Carthage. Helen Hubbard turned 106. I think it was last week. She's a resident of St. Luke's and the oldest resident of Jasper County. So a big happy birthday to Helen. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing with the Humane Society. That's one of the reasons I was interested in being on the council to start with, was getting something going with the Humane Society again. Something I'd like to see happen, I was going to talk to Josiah about this, was maybe some code enforcement or just looking at the Route 66 through Carthage. We need to beautify, especially down Oak Street, kind of the main path. there's a lot of things that's just not being enforced by code. I don't know if we need to specifically bring addresses to you or what, but I'd like to see Carthage cleaned up along Route 66 at least for our travelers coming through, because I think we'll have a lot of tourism through Carthage this year.
Okay, Ron, you can talk to him about that too for the enforcement. Okay, great.
That's it.
Jack?
Well, I would say if you ever find yourself at Freeman Hospital, the food is actually pretty darn good. Choice was salmon, excellently prepared. So good luck if you happen to find yourself there. That's it. There's all quiet on Ward 3 as far as I know. So.
Okay. Ray?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor, thank you.
Juan?
All right. I'm not going to be as lengthy, but I'm going to say I had the privilege to serve on the committee that interviewed the assistant police chiefs, the candidates for the assistant police chiefs. And if I remember right, you said we had 11 applications. Of those 11, I think half met the minimum requirements. And of those 6 remaining applicants, 4 stood out. And of the 4 that we interviewed, of the top 4 that we interviewed, 3 were just phenomenal. So I'm glad the chief has the decision to make, because I couldn't make it. I would pick all 3 of them. One of them, I think, let me see if I remember right, what he shared, that he was featured on a Hulu series, In Pursuit with John Walsh. So after we interviewed him, I went and I watched the episode because I had to do my homework, right? So it was very surreal just interviewing him and then seeing him on TV. Very, very good candidate. And then the other 2 were internal candidates, which is very exciting for us, because that just shows that we have a really good police department. Additionally, that opens promotion opportunities, so that's also exciting for us as a PD. So good luck. You have a very tough decision to make. I'm glad it's you, not me, but it's a good problem to have. It's a great problem to have. So with that said, you also mentioned that we did go to the recognition at the junior high. So I'm not going to touch too much on it, other than it's a very proudful moment for us as a city, but also my wife's a teacher, and she was also a student of my wife. So it was a very proud moment for me as a husband to see one of my wife's past students get recognized. And my wife's a big Frida fan, so I don't know if you guys knew, she wrote her paper on Frida. So my wife and I have discussions. I favor her husband. Frida had a husband who was also a painter. My wife favors Frida, so I think she probably had more say in shaping our student than I probably did, and convincing my wife to go the other way. But other than that, a very proud moment for me as a husband, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Derek?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
All right. We will now move on to the reports, the administrative reports of the officer of city. And Richard, why don't we start with you tonight?
Thank you, Mayor. I actually had about 5 different items, but Councilmember Schramm, Councilmember West, and Mayor Flanagan covered all my items, so I only have one thing left, and that kind of coincides with the budget. I noticed that calendar. This would be my first budget as well, and it kind of coincides. This would be my first 4th of July here. And I hear I am partially responsible for the 4th of July celebration. So anybody who has a good idea that they would like to share with me, public, council, staff, anybody, hit me up and we'll try to incorporate some new ideas and see if we can't make this the best 4th of July that we can. And I appreciate. Another thing, I'm still new to the community. Everybody's been so supportive. I really appreciate there's not a meeting I can't go to or I don't go to where I don't have at least one city council member or the mayor supporting me while I'm there. So I just wanted to make that known to the public. Everything else has already stole my thunder, so that's all.
Okay, Josiah.
Yes, so just want to give an update as far as all the projects that are ongoing. Road widening project, Airport Drive, Hazel, open and striped as of today. So that project is nearing its end, thank goodness. The traffic signal out there, after many different obstacles with some with MoDOT requirements and meeting those, and some things that got overlooked. The traffic cabinet has been set in place now. The signal cabinet that holds the controls for the traffic signal is in place. It has been lowered. Everything's in place, so we're getting really close to that too. That's another one that I'm glad to get towards the end of this project. Sidewalks ongoing. Airport Drive is really looking good, coming along really well. A few more pours to tie up along Airport Drive there, and that'll be complete. They've moved on primarily over to Fairview Avenue, and I know that a lot of you have probably noticed the road closure. Expect that for the next couple of weeks until they can get some of this stuff done in that area, and then they'll open that roadway back up to try to let traffic back through so they can do the work off the roadway. I want to mention one thing about the leaf pickup. We've been behind this year on the leaf pickup due to various reasons, but the warm weather actually allowed us to do some more asphalt work that needed to get done to tie everything up for the wintertime. So we've been just juggling crews back and forth to try to get this asphalt done when we can. When we had it, asphalt has shut down for the season now, so it's been our primary focus leaf season. One thing I did want to clear up, Mary, you had mentioned to me about picking up leaves within the CMC complex area. I think Ronnie, you had somebody in your ward there that had shown some concern there. We do go within the grounds on the CMC. We have requested that about 3 years ago due to rains. They used to stockpile all of those leaves on Highland. They're just east of Grand, and then the front of the grounds along Grand. Every rain we got, we had stormwater issues. So all the grates would plug up. It was a constant battle for us. So with coordination with the fathers out there, we started requesting that they leave those leaves on the grounds and pile them up to where we can drive through and pick those up. And since then, it has been a big help for us to not create any blockage in the stormwater system. So just to clarify that.
Thank you
just
for
what I
making
wanted to-
that clarification so I can explain to
Absolutely.
others that it's not just a favoritism.
No, it
has a
absolutely
benefit
not.
to
Yeah,
the
there is a reason behind it, yeah. And it
Thank
seems
you.
to be working pretty good. Hopefully they can keep those piles a little tighter. This year they were spread out a little more than what we like, but we'll work with them on that, and they've been great to work with, so. Historic guidelines, like Derek mentioned, I know in our office, I want to just give a shout out to Julie. She has been just crunching on these guidelines and going through and doing the proper edits and finding the little typos here and there, making sure that it will be able to apply to our city. So whenever that committee sees when she's done with that and they see all these little footnotes, I don't know how they're going to get through them all. But I can't keep up with her. But anyway, so shout out to her. I really appreciate what effort she's putting into that. Also, we have 2 interviews scheduled for this week to hopefully fill a couple positions at the street department level. So with that, we're just beginning the budget process and getting ready to crunch that out. That's all I have tonight.
Yes, Jack.
Timing on the completion of the box culvert
Yes.
on Macon and the railroad track.
Yes, I actually skipped right over that.
You did?
So Macon Street box culvert, the box itself is completely done. 21 days of cure time on that concrete on the lid to that. They'll begin tying in the curbs and the sidewalk area on that. So we're about a month out of being able to open that road up fully, and the work being done. We will have to probably temporarily put a asphalt patch down that will have to be resurfaced once we have the proper hot mix to go on that. They did start on Center Street today, so they started moving over and started doing some demolition over on Center Street.
But the complaint department I live with, she goes to the recycle. I have to go down there. Sorry.
That's right en route too.
Beth.
Yes, I was gonna ask Josiah, I don't know where I read this, but it said something about the Chestnut Bridge being completed or something.
Yes,
And
yeah.
so I was just gonna ask about that.
Clarification on that. So the Chestnut Box Culvert, just west of River Street, that project has been completed. So the asphalt, everything has been done. It's been opened up for some time now.
Okay.
Anything else, Josiah?
I think that covers most of it.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah, we've had a busy month. It's been 6 weeks since I was in the meeting because I was at the Four Corners conference for the last meeting, the first meeting of December. I do want to clarify, a lot of people thought we had 3 fires Friday night. We just had 2. There was some confusion in the addressing of one of them, so a lot of people on social media were thinking we had 3, but fires generally come in 3, so I guess that's why they were confused. I wanted to say a big thank you to all the organizations and groups. I know I'm going to miss some, but Top Notch Farms with Marty and Julie Block, CWEP with Willie and Jill Wagner, Zanovan Engineering, S&B, Almers, Nell, and several church groups, family groups that piled food into the fire station or had a, CWEP had a hospitality lunch, and so did Top Notch Farms for city employees. But we eat in January too, I just want to remind people. No, it was wonderful. We got a lot of, we always get a ton of cookies, candies, leftovers. If they have a big gathering, they bring us, 10 pans of fried chicken, and we can't really eat it all before it goes bad. But most people have the new year, new me attitude, but mine's still the same. New year, same me. I will say we had some sadness this week. We lost another retiree, Scott Roten, the father of our current battalion chief, Jody Roten, passed away Saturday evening after fighting cancer for the last year. I want to give a big thank you to Joplin Fire. They offered to come man our station on Friday so that all of our members could attend the funeral. The visitation's Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. at Christchurch, Oronogo, and the funeral service is Friday at 2 p.m. with procession and graveside service immediately following. We've also had a busy month with training. We've got 3 of our members got hazmat technician certification. We've got 4 guys that have completed the ICS 300 and 4 more that are taking ICS 400 this week. We had, I think, 7 or 8 guys went through a driver operator class at Reddings Mill and passed it, along with a water supply and tanker shuttle class. This is our busy time of year for training, as well as budgeting kicks off, and we can kind of measure what our needs might be going forward, and try to get input from all the crews and the men from that as well. That's all I have tonight.
Okay, thank you. Chad?
We've had a lot of changes being made at the police department as far as manpower. Obviously, I took over as chief, and that kind of set the line up for others to move forward. Like Councilman Tepete said, we did interviews for the assistant chief position. We narrowed it down to 4, and then I selected 1 today and made those notifications. With that, the candidates were great. I got great feedback. I was going to tell the staff, I got great feedback from the candidates themselves when I spoke to them today, to kind of let them know that we have made the selection and they weren't selected. The ones that were from the outside greatly appreciated Carthage, and when they did their research, one from Vermont said, I think I might want to live there. And that's just from everything that's going on. He's all Spark Over Park and all that. We have a new ACO officer. She was currently working for the city as a dispatcher on midnight shifts, so a lot of people didn't see her much. She has moved into the role of ACO. The old ACO, which was Gardner, took a position as a police officer on one of our openings. He's currently started yesterday for his first day in the police academy. I hear that the police academy is looking fuller than most years, which is really good for police departments all over this area to allow good applicants to come to those departments. We have 2 current openings. One of them is being hopefully filled very soon. I just got notification that he took his last test results, so we'll give him an offer of employment probably tomorrow. The school resource officer that is hired by the school, it's a Carthage R9 employee, has been selected by the school. With that being said, we do commission the SROs to have police authority and the powers necessary to do that job in the schools. With that, it is an officer that worked in Carthage in the late 90s, and I think he worked here about 5 years, and then went and worked for another agency for 20 years. He has been selected. He's a Carthage resident as well. He has been his entire life. So we will then he'll be a reserve officer for us, a non-paid reserve officer, just with the commission of the city of Carthage for police powers. So a lot of things are moving in that direction. Hoping to fill the one spot that we would still have vacant, and we're just looking for applicants for that. So if anybody in the community or on staff is interested in being a police officer, please go to our website and apply. You can always call me directly if you're interested, and I'll definitely get you to the person that take care of that for us. So that's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Tracy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So in addition to everything else that's already been reported, I did attend a meeting at the Carthage R9 Administrative Building for a legislative advocacy group. The purpose of the meeting was to inform key community stakeholders about current legislative developments, explain how those decisions could impact Carthage schools, and encourage advocacy by contacting the legislators. Their goal is to try and have more of a voice in things that are happening up at the state level. And so we will be meeting regularly to get information and help advocate for our school systems. Also, I want to remind everyone of a public meeting that MoDOT will be holding to discuss the upcoming road improvements on Central. They'll have an extensive project from the lights on Garrison going west to the overpass, and so that will affect traffic, and they want everyone to have an opportunity. It is a come and go meeting that will be held at the CWEP Community Room from 4:30 to 6 on January 22nd. And that, like I said, it will allow individuals to have some input into the project. As reported earlier by Mr. Snow, our sales tax and use tax are up, and we are back, we're right in line with meeting our budget projections for both sales and use tax. I also reported on our revenue projections for the first 6 months of the current fiscal year. This year, the general revenue fund is up approximately $100,000 over last year due to increased interest income and grant revenue. The public health fund is slightly down about $3,500, and the golf course is up approximately $69,000 due to the warmer weather and increased play. And that's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. John.
Nothing tonight.
All right, we'll now entertain reported claims presented against the city. Miranda.
The Committee on Claims filed a report in the amount of $5,462,514.76.
I move that we adopt or approve the claims report as presented.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, to approve the claims report as presented. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It is approved. All right, we'll have no public hearings nor old business. We'll move on to new business. First council bill, Miranda.
The first reading of Council Bill 2601, an ordinance amending the annual operating and capital budget of the City of Carthage for fiscal year 2025-2026 for specified funds, the General Revenue Fund and the Civic Enhancement Fund.
Any discussion? It's in your packet what this is for. All right, we have no more mayor's appointments for this evening. We'll now move on to resolutions. Miranda.
Resolution 2108, a resolution providing for the formal acceptance of an anonymous donation of $10,000 by the City Council of the City of Carthage, Missouri pursuant to city policy.
Any discussion? Alan?
I move that we adopt Resolution 2108.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2108. Any further discussion? Okay, cast your votes. Oh, Alan, I'm sorry.
Well, just to follow up a little bit on Jack's question earlier. So whenever a department receives a donation like that, it does go into a separate fund, and then the department has the discretion to use those funds to purchase something that may not be budgeted, but they have the discretion to spend it not however they want. It still has to go through the budget process, but they can buy something that maybe they need in the department. I think a couple years ago, they may have used this donation to remodel their kitchen, you know, so that's how these donations are used.
All right, any other discussion? Cast your votes. Motion passes. The resolution passed. All right, we'll now move on to closing comments. My only comments are, I think most of you probably know, Gennaro has decided not to run for his full term, so that seat is currently uncontested and will be subject to the normal write-in procedure. So more to follow on that. And the rest of you, again, my hat's off to you for those of you that run again, throwing your hat in the ring and volunteer to serve our city. And with that said, we'll now move on from Mr. West. Ray?
Nothing this evening again. Thank you.
Okay. Jack?
Silence.
David?
Just one thing, Derek had mentioned on the historic planning guidelines, I know they've been working on, I've attended some of those meetings. If you get a chance, you gotta attend it. I understand it's a guideline. I personally feel it's an overreach. If we have guidelines and you turn around and say, but you can go and, you know, appeal and then, you know, probably get it changed. I don't see what the guidelines are even there for. But when you tell homeowners you're not allowed to do vinyl windows or you're not allowed to do vinyl siding on your own home, but you're not offering them any funds to offset the difference to make them spend 3 or 4 times the amount of money, I'm not in favor of it at this point, but there's still ongoing meetings, so.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
No.
Beth?
Well, I just, in the spirit of, I think, gratitude, is that there's a lot of hard work that goes on here that doesn't get, shall we say, noticed or recognized always, but there are a lot of people that think about, in our ward, about what people are doing and how to make things work in the community, and they've received a lot of positive comments. So just the department heads and staff, thank you, and other city council members that are doing hard work to make things work better in Carthage.
Okay, thank you. Alan?
Well, it seems like I haven't seen you guys since last year, but I have to say, I haven't been missing you all, so it's good to see you. I just wanted to, David mentioned Helen Hubbard's 106th birthday the other day. I wanted to make sure that Helen is not the oldest person in Jasper County. She's not the oldest in Carthage.
Really?
Donald Meyer will be 107 in about a month. So I got corrected last year that Dawn is a year older, well, 13 months older than Helen. So.
Google needs to update that.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know and give a shout out to Don for 106 last year at his birthday party. He's still in pretty sharp mind. So Chief Deininger, Jana did so well at the police academy. Is there a possibility
Yes.
that we could get her on the department full time?
Thank you, Alan, I was gonna ask.
Also, Richard, this is your first year budgeting. Chief Deininger, this is his first year budgeting. Josiah got a little taste of it last year. Chief Martin got a little taste of it last year. So I want to give a shout out to Tracy and Miranda because those two will be busy working with all four of you to get these budgets all done because I know how much work goes into getting all these, your department budgets, but they're working with all four departments. So good luck, guys. Get on Tracy's calendar early and often because you're gonna have lots of questions and she'll be able to answer those for you.
She was talking about that before Christmas.
Yeah. It's never too early, never too early. Last thing, I would just like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Would like to give a shout out to all our Carthage Tiger teams. We've got basketball going on right now. We've got women's swimming. We've got wrestling going on. So shout out to all the Carthage Tigers and have a great season. That's all tonight.
Okay, thank you. Janet?
I'm good. I've talked enough. Thank you.
Ron?
Only for Josiah, is Spire Gas about done in Carthage? Because there's some of the streets that are like on a roller coaster going down and around.
I think we're getting close to the end, but I keep being too hopeful, I think. As soon
When we
as I
do
think
that
they're about
budget,
done,
we
they
need
start
to
one
get
more
some
little
streets
area,
paved
so-
over. That's all, Your Honor.
Derek?
Just real quick, I just wanted to emphasize David's point. I think that's really good that essentially right now, the Planning and Zoning Committee, which I'm just the liaison of, they're working through all these guidelines to determine what will actually apply to the city of Carthage. However, before anything applies, it's going to come to right here. So I would just emphasize that point to public, council members. Please don't hesitate to attend those meetings because they are trying to find answers and yeah. So that ultimately though, that whatever they ultimately designate as the final draft, that will have to be approved by council. So I'm sure that'll be an interesting evening, but I encourage anyone to attend. That's all. Thank you.
Juan?
All right, it's gonna be a little bit long, guys, so hold on, all right? So make a motion to go into closed session according to section 610.021, parentheses 2. The agenda includes the possibility of voting to close part of the meeting to discuss leasing, purchasing, or sales of real estate by a public government body where the public knowledge of the transaction might adversely affect the legal consideration therefore.
Second.
I have a motion second to go into closed session to discuss a potential real estate transaction. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Oh. Yep, I apologize.
Did it go through?
You ready?
Yes.
Cast your votes. See it.
Is your thumbs up a yes over there?
Yeah, it's the yes vote.
All right, that was so fun. Let's do
So
it
do
one
you-
more time. So,
All right, that motion passes.
okay,
All right, Juan?
okay, Mayor, sorry about that. All right, so I make another motion to go into closed session according to section 610.021, parentheses 1. The agenda includes the possibility of a vote to close part of the meeting to discuss legal actions, causes, or action or legislation involving a public government body or its representatives and its attorneys.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to also go into closed session to discuss a potential legal issue, personnel legal issue. Any discussion? Cast your votes. All right, that motion also passes. We will adjourn upstairs into closed session. Start at 2000, 8 o'clock up. That gives you 5 minutes to go to the restroom if that's what you want to do. In seats, we're good to go. Bring this session, open session back in.
We are all here.
All right, you want to call roll?
Peterson?
Here.
DePente?
Present.
West?
Present.
Perkins?
Here.
Thorne?
Here.
King?
Here.
Snow?
Here.
Schramm? Wells?
Here, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you for your service.